and we reached to our Newark buddy, Mr. Steve Adubato. He is the PBS anchor, author of What Were They Thinking, and all around dear friend. Stephen, welcome to the program.
Always good to talk to you, Joe. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, you doing? Doing good. Kind of rocked a little bit from Robin. Did you cross paths at NJ Pack or over there?
No. Just a fan, and you don't know what to make of it. But I will tell you that for me, I remember with my young kids looking forward to having them watch Mrs. Doubtfire. It's funny, you go from Good Morning Vietnam, a guy like Uncle Floyd, I remember.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Right, that's right.
It's like that, obscure things like that, for guys like you and I, Joe. Like, remember, like Uncle Floyd had that role in that. I remember, I'm thinking to myself, Floyd Vivino was in that movie, Good Morning Vietnam, with Robin Williams, and that's like the thing I remember, because the great Robin Williams, stars in that movie, carries it and sticks in your head, and go all the way from that to Mrs. Doubtfire, and it just shows the kind of range. And then you think of Good Will Hunting, an extraordinary movie like that, and you think, my God, what a talent. So
he really was, and just a good guy. You're funny. Uncle Floyd Vivino is a very funny, very talented guy. But we remember those of us on the Jersey side remember Floyd from cable television early on from the Uncle Floyd show. But he was great in that movie. And my buddy Robert Wall, the actor.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah, Wall was in that and had a great role in that. In the Good Morning Vietnam, and just great. So you got to remember fondly and just a heartbreak. You know why? You know what, Steve? Because he was a good guy. That's what bothers. That's when I got up. I went, whoa, he was a nice soul. He would and the fact that he ran off with his babysitter makes me even love the guy even more. So it's.
We have these obscure connections to people, Joe.
They would always go, and Robin would want us to laugh, man. He really would want us to laugh, and he would go.
You gotta laugh.
Now that I think about it, I don't think I ever mentioned it to him. You think I would see Piscopo, see Robin Williams. I go, babysitter, right? Yeah, I got you. All right. You little fist bump, babysitter, right? Yeah, all right, man. It was none of that. It was none of that.
That's what makes you so interesting, Joe.
I know. Or did I do that? I might have. We might have just said it, but you know what? I got to tell you, Steve, as I remember these things, I'll talk about it throughout the morning, Steve, and we always appreciate you joining us. But Saturday Night Live, it's a reunion. It's got to be like the 20th reunion. Robin is there. I'm jacked up working out back in the day, right? And you know me, you know us clean. I mean, everybody in the area knows us clean.
Totally.
But there was always the steroid rumor, so. Robin's, it's his time. He's doing 5 minutes. National television live, by the way, live SNL reunion, one of those big shows. Anybody who was anybody. Oh my God. And I'm there in the audience, and he looks at me in a split second. I'm on television. He goes, Joe Piscopo, steroids? He goes, no. Then he goes, and he does like a horse hoof, like I'm thinking horses. No, Joe doesn't do drugs. Like, totally nails me. I went, oh my gosh, I could. He was just wicked funny right from there.
You just looked at whoever he looked at.
Yeah, you're dead.
Anyway,
and it was always in good fun. Hey, Steve Adubato. So
I want to hear this transition, Joe.
Yeah, how about that? Thank you. All I got to keep in my mind that Robin Williams would want us to laugh through all the, even losing this great talent, decent guy. But we got the politics. We're on AM970 The Answer. Steve, politics better than anybody. And so and you also are the one guy, and I say this, you don't want to admit this, but I think I can say this to our listeners because we are family. You're the one guy that is actually in the head of Governor Chris Christie. I know you know this man. You know what he's thinking. You know where he's going, and he knows it. And that's why he keeps you close. I'm telling you, man, you guys are better friends than even Steve Adubato. And Christie. What's he doing with Rob Astorino? Is this going to happen, not happen? Is he doing the right thing, not supporting Rob Astorino?
Well, while I keep my objectivity, and I respect and like the governor, let's just say this. He is not just the governor of the state of New Jersey. He is the head of the organization that is supposed to be electing Republicans to governorships across the country. The problem is, there's a finite amount of money that the Republican Governors Association has. And Chris Christie, when asked, if he was going to campaign for Rob Astorino, said, it's a quote-unquote lost cause. Now, do I think the governor wishes that he used a different expression, which is the thing that's coming back to him to, give him a hard time? Yeah. But the fact is, you ask me, is Rob Astorino a lost cause? The answer is yes, he is. When you have races across the country and a guy's 30-plus points behind at the time, do you say, let's pump the money into the race right across the river in New York to elect Rob Astorino against Andy Cuomo? The answer is no, because you have a lot of other races that you could win that are 8 points, 6 points, 5 points behind where you can make a big difference. And so now Christie's getting hit because he does have a relationship with Andy Cuomo. You're supposed to have a relationship with the governor across the river because you're in New Jersey, he's in New York. You're supposed to get things done. And my God, could you imagine the conspiracy between Cuomo and Christie, that they're together and they do things together? Now, that's not the reason. The reason is it is a lost cause.
Yeah,
now,
interesting.
Christie's getting hit for this. But that's the dilemma when you're the New Jersey governor, but you're also the governor who got elected to get all these other governors elected, and everyone thinks that they're the one that's supposed to get the money from Chris Christie as the head of the Republican Governors Association.
And I just want to remind, if you listen, our listeners, Steve Adubato is indeed objective because your dad, great guy, is what they call it, and forgive me, Steve, but I think, we all know each other well enough to say Steve's father is what they consider the godfather of the North Ward, the godfather. And
I thought you were going to say the Padrone, which is the same thing.
Il Padrone. Well, but in a good way. I don't mean I mean a godfather in every good sense in the Italian community. And he was the guy he was just like a Democratic power broker. He's the guy. And yet, Steve, you still reach to the other side in Governor Christie. It's nice to see that, by the way. I have to tell you about that, because we know each other, that you didn't just go down and hang with Steve Sweeney, the head of the Democratic head of the Senate in Jersey. You go to the governor's side, and you guys have a nice relationship. It's nice that you cross lines like that. So I know when you speak, you do speak of objectivity.
Well, listen, the bottom line is this. When you're in my role as a journalist, you have to be able to sit down and ask tough questions of Democrats. And listen, there are Democrats who are upset with me because I did have a practical relationship with the governor where we did have him on and did ask him solid questions. And there were times that Governor Christie was angry with me for asking what he perceived to be tough questions and following up with him. But the bottom line is, the thing I like about Governor Christie is he gets past it. He's a big boy. He moves on, and he knows you're doing your job. And I would just say I'm a former Democratic legislator. Some of my old Democratic friends actually seem to think when you are a Democrat or born into a Democratic family, somehow you're a Democrat for life, which means you're supposed to hate Republicans. I don't get that part because you don't get anything done that way. That's my view.
Yeah, no, you do an absolutely brilliant job. And when you're with the governor, you're not easy on him all the time. So it's great. It's great.
No, that's not what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, you're very fair. Hey, and this, Steve, we always appreciate you. Everything else okay, Steve? Your family?
Everything else is good. I had 2 weeks down the Jersey Shore.
Hey,
man. I love being down there, and it's good to see some of the progress, even though there's such a long way to go. And you pray, and your thoughts and prayers are with all the folks who are not back in their homes and their businesses, and that's a lot of what you think about. Even though you go down and you say, "Hey, listen, you're loving the Jersey Shore. You spend the money in Point Pleasant on the boardwalk and Seaside, and that's great. But you do see that people are struggling and suffering, and that is constantly on your mind because you think it's one thing to love it in the summer, but when it's 12 months a year you're home and you're not back in, you can't imagine what that's like."
Yeah, but it does seem to be rebounding. As I was down there, I could see it's much busier. Last year, not the case. This year, I could see people are down. It's crowded. Seaside Heights is making progress. And we'll let you go, Steve. But really, what can we do to save my town, Atlantic City, man? What's going on in Atlantic City, New Jersey? Oh.
Well, listen, for the folks who think sports betting was the answer, I hate to say, I don't buy it. I think it was the Hail Mary pass when you're down 4 touchdowns late in the fourth quarter. And those are upset with Governor Christie, and I'm not sitting here defending him. That was not the answer. The answer would have been a long time ago, changing the whole paradigm down there and everybody being all in and investing in a marketing and PR plan and not having so many casinos. And, by the way, realizing that there was competition all around us a long time ago. We didn't do that. I hate to say this, Joe. I don't think it's dead, and I don't think it's irreparable, but I'll say this. It's going to be just a couple of casinos. It's going to be just a couple of casinos, and I don't think the Revel rebounds, and I don't see a buyer for it. And I do think that North Jersey has to be the next option up here for a casino. That's the way I see it. I don't think Atlantic City is ever going to be what it was, and I think that's the way people are going to have to face it, my view.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, we'll still go down. Steve Adubato on the line. Steve, we're overdue for a visit. We talked to our doctor, Dr. Stephen Smith, who loves you from North. We all should just hang out there. When, I don't know where we go. We'll go to the Belmont Tavern for crying out loud.
The Belmont Tavern for Chicken Savoy. Is your picture on the wall?
You know what? That's a great question. I think it might be buried.
Oh, it is. I saw it recently.
Behind Frankie Vincent and Joey Pesci. Right behind there.
People must have sent to Joe without you even knowing.
I know. You never know. Hey, Steve, we love you, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Okay, you too, indeed. 6:53 with Joe Piscopo, AM970 The Answer. And we got Amy Salerno on the roads for you.